Today we're going to be talking about Trading 212, the pros and cons of the platform, the trading fees associated with using Trading 212, and how to set up a Trading 212 account. And at the end of the video, we'll also give an overview of the platform, its key features, and how to use it. Use the timestamps that we've left below to jump to the section that you're interested in, or stick with us for a full overview. But before we dive in, we need to flag that as of August 2021, i.e. the time of recording, Trading 212 are operating a waiting list for new customers. That means that if you do want to open a Trading 212 account, you're going to have to join the line and wait until you get the invite. I recently only got the Trading 212 invite and I've been on the waitlist for about 4 months, so it is taking a while. That being said, there's nothing stopping you opening an account with another brokerage in the meantime, using that while you wait, and then once you get the invite to join Trading 212, you can just switch to using that platform. That being said, of course, you will then need to deal with the inconvenience of having stocks and shares on 2 different platforms, but we'll leave that up to you. Okay, on with the video. For Irish and European investors, when you open a Trading 212 account, you'll have 2 options, the Invest app and the CFD app. If you're UK based, you'll also have the option to open an ISA account, but that's only for UK customers and not relevant to anyone outside of the UK. When choosing between the Invest and the CFD app, we'd suggest for most investors, especially for beginner investors, to stick with the Invest app and ignore the CFD option, at least until you understand what CFDs actually are. CFDs, or contract for differences, are a type of investment product that use leverage, i.e. borrowed funds, and are not recommended for beginner investors, so do keep that in mind. On any CFD trading platform, such as Trading 212 or eToro, you will see messages like the following. CFDs are complex instruments and come with a high risk of losing money rapidly due to leverage. 76% of retail investor accounts lose money when trading CFDs with this provider. You should consider whether you understand how CFDs work and whether you can afford to take the high risk of losing your money. That's a quote taken directly from the Trading 212 website itself, so again, be careful. Okay, let's take a quick look at the pros and cons of Trading 212. And again, to clarify, these are correct as of the time of recording, and if any of them do change, we'll leave the updates in the description below. We'll start with the pros. The biggest pro of the Trading 212 platform is its commission-free ETF and share trading. You also have the ability to buy fractional shares on the platform, which is great for a beginner investor who might not have the full amount of funds needed to buy one individual share. For example, an Amazon share at the time of recording is over $3,000. Fractional shares allow you to buy a small piece of, for example, Amazon without needing the full amount. Trading 212 also has a very intuitive mobile and desktop platform that is super easy to navigate and perfect for a beginner investor. There are no inactivity fees or withdrawal fees on Trading 212. There's also a low minimum deposit of $1 for bank card deposits and $10 for bank transfers. They have a cool feature called Pie Autoinvest, which we'll discuss a little bit later on in the video. Trading 212 offers good educational resources and also pretty solid fundamental analysis information. Trading 212 also have a demo account where you can use fake funds to practice using the platform, trading stocks and shares, and just get familiar with how all the tools work. And lastly, it does offer a pretty simple account opening process once you actually get the invite. Now let's switch over to the cons. The first con of Trading 212 is that they have somewhat limited product options. You're able to trade stocks, ETFs, CFDs, and Forex, but at the time of recording, these are still limited in terms of the overall optionality of the stocks you have to choose from, so it's worth keeping in mind. The product availability might be compared similarly to eToro, but when you compare it to say DeGiro or Interactive Brokers, they don't have as an extensive amount of choice as those platforms might offer. Trading 212 will likely have all the major companies that you'd be considering invested in, like the Facebooks, Amazons, etc., but there might be some smaller outlier companies that you might come across that might not be available for you to invest. And if options trading or futures trading is what you're looking for, Trading 212 don't currently offer that either. The second con is that Trading 212 have relatively high Forex fees, and this is simply the fee that you pay for trading in a currency that's not your base currency on the platform. This fee currently stands at 0.15%, and you will pay it if, for example, your base currency is in euro and you decide to buy a share in a company that's listed in USD. When you buy this stock, Trading 212 will do the conversion from euro to USD and charge you a fee for that. 0.15% might not sound like a lot, but over time it does tend to add up, so just be careful of that. And then the biggest con, at least currently at the time of recording, is that there is a very long wait period for an account setup. So you might be waiting a while before you get that invite, as we mentioned. It's also probably worth flagging that if you do want to transfer assets in or out of Trading 212, this is not currently permitted on the platform. So If you decide that you want to move your stocks from, say, another platform to Trading 212, you can't do this, and vice versa. If you want to move them from Trading 212 out to another platform, you still won't be able to do this. In contrast, brokers like DeGiro or Interactive Brokers do allow inbound and outbound transfers of your positions. DeGiro charge a fee, whereas Interactive Brokers allow you to transfer in and out for no extra fee. We've done videos on both of those platforms, and if you want to check those out, we'll leave a link right here. Okay, as mentioned earlier, Trading 212 have a cool function that's called Autoinvest and Pies. We're going to look at that now. Pies on Trading 212 is essentially allowing you to create your own mini fund. You can choose how many companies you want to add into your pie, up to a current amount of 100 companies, and then you can also choose the percentage weighting of those companies in your pie based on the amount of funds that you're investing. So we're going to jump ahead slightly here and show you the pie functionality before we show you the account setup process, but don't worry, we'll be showing you that shortly. So once you've logged in, you can create your pie, you can add your instruments, and here you can select what companies you want to add in to your pie. So let's say, for example, we have €500 to invest and we want to add 5 companies to our pie. Let's just take the first 5 on the list here: Amazon, Apple, Neo, Tesla, and Palantir. You've added your 5 instruments and you'll just simply click Next. You can then see here that they're all evenly distributed at 20% of the invested funds. But if you so wish, you can adjust this to reflect the companies that you might want to put more money into. So let's say we want to put 30% into Tesla. We of course then will need to reduce another company by 10% to bring us down to the full 100. So we would do that, say, for Palantir. You can play around with this as much as you like. You can then name your pie. And you can also see, based on the past 5-year historical market performance, what your future average annual return might be. But of course, like with all investing, past performance is no guarantee of future performance. So once you're happy with the weightings, you can just simply click Next. And then once that's created, you can then choose to either use auto invest or manual investing. Auto invest, as it describes here, is just setting an investment schedule and automating your deposits. So you can decide that, okay, I want to invest €200 every month for the next 12 months, and that will just do it automatically once Trading 212 has access to the funds. Alternatively, you can do it on a manual schedule and just add funds as you see fit when you want to. For our Irish subscribers who are watching who have to deal with the very high ETF taxes in Ireland, you can use the Pie functionality to an extent to replicate an ETF. As you can add up to 100 companies into your pie, you could replicate an ETF that you already like and essentially avoid the taxes that you might have to pay if you invested directly into the ETF. Of course, it's not exactly the same as an ETF because the main perks of an ETF, such as automatic rebalancing and extensive diversification, won't necessarily apply, but it's a decent plan B. The main benefit, of course, is that you will avoid the 41% ETF tax. You will only have to pay the 33% capital gains tax instead. Pies also have a function where you can turn on automatic dividend reinvestment, which is very beneficial because it'll just drive the funds that you get from your holdings back into those holdings, and again, helps with compound interest. It is worth remembering though that if you are based in Ireland and you do have a dividend reinvestment plan turned on with Trading 212 or any other broker, you still have to pay tax on any dividends paid, even though they don't technically go into your bank account. So you'll never actually see those funds in your account as they'll just simply be reinvested. However, there will be a record of that dividend paid and you will need to calculate the tax owed on each of those dividend payments. One way you can avoid this is by investing through ETFs in a pension, but we'll save that for our other video, which we'll link here. Okay, so what are the costs and fees of using Trading 212? Depending on the product that you trade, the fees are going to vary. In this video, we'll be looking at the fees associated with stocks, ETFs, and Forex, but we won't be going into CFD fees right now. Why? Well, the main reason is myself or Cian don't actually trade CFDs, and they're not really for beginner investors and outside of the scope of this video, so we'll save that for another one. If you do want to learn about what the fees are for trading CFDs on Trading 212, we'll leave a link in the description below. As mentioned at the top of the video, you can trade stocks and ETFs commission-free on Trading 212. There are no account fees, withdrawal fees, or inactivity fees on the platform. As touched upon earlier, there's a Forex fee when you trade in a currency that's not your base currency, and this is charged at 0.15% per trade. And lastly, if using card deposits, once you've lodged over €2,000 into your Trading 212 account using a card transfer, you will be charged 0.7% on top of that anytime you deposit funds. One way around this, however, is to simply use the direct bank transfer, which will take up to 2 days, but you avoid the fee. So before moving on to money and safety using Trading 212, there is one final thing you want to be aware of. Trading 212 offer 9 base currencies on their platform, and we'll list them here. Generally speaking, however, you won't have access to all 9 of these. It'll usually just be your local currency, USD, and GBP. In order to avoid the Forex conversion fee we mentioned earlier, you could use a multi-currency internet bank account to lodge the correct base currency funds directly to your Trading 212 account and dodge that Forex fee. So anything like Revolut or N26 or any of these internet banks could be useful to you. Trading 212 is one of the most well-known discount UK brokerages and is regulated by the FCA. If you're outside of the UK, you'll be trading under their Trading 212 EU limited brokerage, which is regulated in Cyprus and is regulated by the Securities and Exchange Commission of Cyprus. European investors are protected up to the value of €20,000 using Trading 212, but Trading 212 also offer insurance up to €1 million using Lloyd's of London. All this means is that if Trading 2 happen to ever go insolvent, your funds are somewhat protected, so it gives you some peace of mind. Okay, so with all that out of the way, let's take a dive into setting up a Trading 212 account. We'll be doing it on mobile, but the setup process is pretty much the same on desktop. So once you eventually receive your Trading 212 account invite, you'll get an email such as this one. You'll just simply click let me in and it'll bring you directly to the platform to create an account. Once you start, you'll see it'll ask you first for your personal details. So again, add in your country and nationality and click next. You then need to add in your name, phone number, date of birth, etc. You'll then be asked to add the country where you pay taxes, so scroll down through the list and select the country appropriate to you. There's also a box here that says I'm a tax resident of more than one country, so again, click that if it's applicable to you. On this screen, you'll be asked to put in your tax ID. In Ireland, this will be your PPS number, and if you're in another European country, add whatever your relevant tax ID is here. Here you'll be asked to put in your residential address, pretty standard process. On this screen, you'll be asked what type of account you'd like to open on Trading 212. As mentioned earlier in the video, UK investors will have a third option here called ISA or ISA, and that'll be in red, but for most European investors and Irish investors, we'll only have the option to choose from Trading 212 CFDs and Trading 212 Invest. As mentioned, CFDs are a much riskier product type, so if you want to audit to your account type optioning, that's fine, but we would recommend that you focus on the invest side of Trading 212. That being said, there's nothing stopping you turning on the CFD platform at a later time, so it's entirely up to yourself. For the sake of the video, we're going to include both. And again, like the quote we gave earlier, you can see here that Trading 212 do give you a warning if you decide to opt for the CFD option. You'll then need to choose your account currency. As I'm based in Ireland, the only option I'm given is in euro, so we're going to be going with that one. Okay, the next section will be asked for our financial details, so let's move on through with this. So we're going to skip through this section pretty quickly as it's all relevant to the individual, so it's going to be different for everyone. Essentially, they want to get info like what your annual income is and other things like that, and that's just to give Trading 212 an idea of who their customers are. So it's not massively important, but it is a requirement as part of regulations. Once you've chosen your salary, you can then choose where your source of funds are. You can only select one, so just choose whatever one is most appropriate to you. For us, why do we want to open an account? It's for investing. We're going to use a personal EU bank account for this option, but you can also add in a credit card if you so wish. You can add in how much you want to deposit on an annual basis, choose your risk tolerance, your employment status, and the type of job that you're currently in. So as mentioned, this is fairly redundant stuff, but you do need to go through it, so just choose all the options that are applicable to you and we'll keep pushing on. Under this section, investing knowledge and experience, this will just kind of give Trading 212 a better idea of what your trading experience is and perhaps some of the products that will be available or unavailable to you. So for these, again, you can only actually choose one, so just choose the one that's most familiar to you, and for us it's going to be stocks. Then choose what markets you've already invested in. Again, you can only choose one, so if you've done more than one, just choose the most appropriate. Have you ever had help investing? Choose whatever. Then you get one small quiz question here. So again, Google the answer if you don't know it, or just copy ours. Then you get another question. What are penny stocks? These questions might be different for you, but again, they're not that hard, and Google is at your disposal. As we opted to open a CFD trading account as well, we will have to get asked a couple of questions on CFDs. For the sake of this video, we're just going to skip through this, but again, you will get asked these if you have selected that option. You'll then get to the terms and policies page, pretty standard stuff. Read through these if you wish, or click I confirm to move along. On this screen, you'll then be asked to create a password for your new account. So simply do this and we'll move on to the next screen. So your account is pretty much ready at this stage. You will just need to upload a form of identification and a proof of residency, such as a statement or a bill. And then once that's good to go, you're free to use the platform. Verifying your identity might take a day or two, so do sit tight, and if you don't hear from Trading 212, their support is quite responsive, so just drop them a message and I'm sure they'll be able to help you out. Okay, so once you've got your account set up and you're logged in, you'll see that the interface, as mentioned in the pros and cons, is super intuitive. It's very clean and it's very easy to use. Up here in the top left, you'll have your home screen, so you can see you'll have two views, the standard view and the advanced view. The standard view, as we can see here, pretty standard, but the advanced view can be used to do some more charting analysis if that's what you're looking for. So usually I'd switch between the two. The second icon is for your pies, so as we described earlier, this is where you can add companies to your pies, turn on dividend reinvestment, see what your holdings are, choose how you want to auto invest, etc. And then one cool feature of the pies is that one, you can set a goal, but also you can share your pie. So if you turn that on, you can send people a link to the pie that you've created, and other people can then copy that pie and invest in those stocks themselves. In the search function, you can see all instruments, and you can scroll down and see all the various stocks, ETFs, etc. that are available to invest in on the Trading 212 platform. Or simply, you can invest by searching what the company that you're looking for. So let's look up Pinterest, and you can click through to Pinterest. You can then see their share price over the past week, month, 1 year. You can see some company details, a little bit of background on what they do and who they are. And again, you can see some key ratios, a financial summary, their income statement, balance sheet analysis, cash flow analysis, etc. So although it's a relatively basic format, it gives you the snapshot info that you might need when doing your research on a company. You can also click through and see further details here, which is great if you're a bit more of an advanced investor. So if you do want to learn a little bit more about how these numbers work when analysing a company, we'll leave a link to that video in the top right corner. As mentioned earlier, Trading 212 do have a demo account section, and in order to get to that, you just simply click Switch to Practice, and it will open up the demo trading account section. And you can see up here in the top right corner, to confirm you're investing on a practice page, you now have €50,000. Congratulations, and you can go around and buy as many stocks and ETFs as you like and really get familiar with how the Trading 212 platform actually works. To switch back, you'll just click Switch to Real Money, and back you go to your €1 account balance. Trading 212 have a wealth of educational resources, and these videos are super helpful, especially for beginners who are just getting started off, so they're well worth the watch. Depositing funds is super easy. You can just click deposit. As mentioned earlier, bank transfers are free, but they will take up to 2 business days to reach your account, whereas credit and debit card is free up to your first €2,000 lodged and 0.7% fee thereafter. So simply plan ahead, use the bank transfer and avoid all the fees. Just to give a very quick example of how you can lodge funds through mobile, you'd simply drop here, click deposit funds. Again, you can go through bank transfer or whatever. You can add your bank account if you so wish. You can also use a credit or debit card, so you can add your card, choose which type of account you want to add it to, either it's the Invest or CFD app. You can set it to recurring or just a one-off payment, and you use the slider to decide how much you want to deposit. And then of course, just simply add your card details and add the funds. You can also use Apple Pay or Google Pay to use your funds, and for the sake of this video, we're just going to do that quickly to show you how it works. We're going to add €1. Use your Touch ID to confirm the payment. And there you have it. Super quick, super easy, and really easy to manage. You can see up here in the top of the screen, we now have €1 in our account. If you have the CFD account option turned on for your account, you can switch to that by clicking the button up here, and then you can just switch back by clicking Trading 212 Invest. So hopefully that gives you a better idea of how to set up a Trading 212 account and all the pros and cons associated with the platform. If anything wasn't clear or you have any follow-up questions, hit us up in the comments below, and otherwise, we'll see you in the next one. On Trading 212.
Here's what I found.